Famed director Frank Capra believed in the American dream, the nobility of the common man, the strength of the human spirit, and the power of love to overcome all obstacles. These were the common themes that ran through all of Capra's films. As director of such enduring classics as It's a Wonderful Life and Meet John Doe, Frank Capra defined the American spirit on film. In a loving personal remembrance, his son, Frank Capra Jr., talks about his father's treasured film legacy and the Lifetime Achievement Award presented to Capra by the American Film Institute.
The AFI award, when he got his AFI award, he made a wonderful speech. And he talked about the art of Frank Capra. And he said, I'll just paraphrase it for a minute, he said, the art of Frank Capra is very simple. It's about people. It's people, ordinary, common people. People get into trouble, and with their own wit and with their own courage and their own love, they get themselves out. His pictures really are extensions of himself. It's not like he went out and made a picture because he thought it was going to be successful, or he made a picture because somebody else had made one like it. He made his pictures because they appeal to him. And so they do have a common thread. And that thread is, as he says, the art of Frank Capra is very, very simple. It's this love of people.
Frank Capra created the beloved American classic, It's a Wonderful Life, in 1946. And it touched the hearts of everyone who saw it, including some lifelong prisoners at San Quentin.
It's a Wonderful Life played. Once it played in the theaters, then typically pictures were picked up and shown in prisons. And one day, Warden Duffy, who was a very well-known warden at San Quentin, wrote a letter to my dad and said, we played your picture here, Mr. Capra, and we got the biggest response for a picture ever has had, and I got all these letters, and I don't know what to do with them. So my father said, well, I'd love to see them. So he sent him a big stack of letters all tied together. They all had a single theme. They were absolutely heartrending, these letters, because they were letters from lifetime prisoners, prisoners who'd been there forever, had no hope of parole, no hope of ever getting out, and no hope for themselves. And they saw this picture, and they responded to this picture saying things like, I never thought my life was worth anything, and now I feel differently, and you've made my life worth living. And they were just wonderful, wonderful letters. It touched them to such an extent. You know why the picture touches everybody. It touches anyone and everyone at any strata or any position. It tells you that your life is not a failure if you have friends.
Meet John Doe, voted one of the 10 best movies of 1941, was the first project Frank Capra and his partner Robert Riskin produced themselves.
You know, we're here at La Quinta, and La Quinta has been a wonderful retreat. My father and his most frequent collaborator and his most favorite writer is Robert Riskin. And one year, they decided they wanted to get out of Los Angeles to work on a screenplay. So they looked around for a place that they could kind of hide out. And it was about 1928 or 29. And they heard about La Quinta. Someone had told them. They said, oh, that sounds like a great place. This was a lucky place. He just felt this was a great place. So from then on, every single script that they worked together on, they always came here to work on. When it came time for they wanted to make their own movie, where they owned it themselves, it was natural for the two of them to get together. They found a story that they wanted to do, and they went ahead and to write Meet John Doe. And they, of course, wrote it here in La Quinta. And this was a picture they were going to finance on their own. They were not going to a studio. They put up all the money for the picture. And they both put up their houses and signed loans with the Bank of America for the money to make the picture. The story was definitely kind of a downer story. Actually, the original story and the original script that they finished, Gary Cooper does go at the end and commit suicide. That was the way the script was written, and it's the way they shot the film. When they finished shooting the film, they looked at it. It was very dissatisfying. I mean, Gary Cooper plays this ball player, down-and-out ball player, who's kind of duped into this, and for him to go and kill himself over that seems somehow unsatisfactory. So then they decided they better shoot a couple of different endings. They had a couple of, they had another ending where he didn't, and they had another ending where he just disappeared, and they actually ended up with 4 endings. And they tested the picture in the theaters with each of the 4 endings, and then they compared the kinds of cards and the letters they got. The guy signed a letter in. He didn't sign it. He actually did sign it, but he didn't sign it with his own name. He said, "You guys are stupid." He said, "I've seen all 4 of your endings, and they all stink." He said, "Don't you understand that the only way to save John Doe is if he's saved by the John Does themselves?" My father had not thought of that, at least. And the guy signs it, a John Doe. Years later, though, my father always said that he was not even 100% satisfied with that ending. Not that there was another one. Maybe there was no ending. It was like you painted yourself into a corner and you can't get out of the room. It was, given the story that they told, he never found a satisfactory ending for that picture. However, the picture has been very successful over the years, and it remains one of his really best pictures.
Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy one of Frank Capra's finest tributes to the common man, Meet John Doe, starring Gary Cooper and Barbara Stanwyck.